I want to now deep down a bit on hiring. Most founders का सबसे बड़ा अगर आप challenge पूछो उनको, if you ask them, and I've spoken to so many founders and I've said, what's the biggest problem that you have faced? And it's not about just building the business. It's not about crisis management. It's not about fighting the fires. It's not about, summating all the rayata that fell out. They all come back and say, the hiring and the right hiring kills us because it's so difficult to get that fitment. A lot of people today, in our amidst our viewers, would either be in two categories. One, young founders trying to hire the right team, or people who want to join the right team. So अगर हम दोनों तरफ से देखें, the idea is to say what the fitment is. If you have to give some advice in terms of hiring, both you have hired now quite a few people. I've seen how Open Secret has grown. A, from the perspective of a hirer, and B, because you have hired so many wonderful people, if you give a little bit of perspective from what they need to see when they join an organization. And I don't want to just attach it to say कि यार आज कोई अगर ओपन सीक्रेट ज्वाइन करना चाहता है तो क्या सोच रहा है. That of course is there. But अगर कोई एक अच्छा कंपनी, एक अच्छा फाउंडर, एक अच्छा ड्रीम, एक अच्छा विजन को ज्वाइन करना चाहता है, what are the do's and the don'ts? What are the red flags versus the not so red flags in terms of hiring as a hirer versus a person who's an applicant or a candidate?
Yeah, I think there are two things. I think two advice जो मुझे आज भी याद है. सबसे important चीज़ था hire A team, and that's extremely important.
What is an A team?
A team is hire the best, because when you hire L1, which is an A team, they're gonna hire the best team under them, and then they're gonna hire a best team under them. When you hire,
I want to go a little more deeper into this. Beautiful point. You're building a startup, not you, as in any startup founder. You're building a startup, limited resources, limited cash, limited runway, lots of challenges. How do you ensure that the A team can come in? What is those aspects that tells an A team, because the A team is, as you said, perhaps cocooned into safety net, best of the best jobs. वो बंदा या बंदी वो छोड़ के to join a crazy founder with a crazy dream to change the world, वो कैसे होता है?
You never join a firm because of the present. You join a firm because of the future that you want to co-create. And as a founder, you need to be able to tell that story. You have to be the best salesperson, and people can visualize the future that you want to build. Always sell the future, whether it's to an investor, to your future employees. And people want to join the future. And people want to join the movement. We are in this unjunking movement, and people want to be a part of it because it's much bigger than any of us. That's number one. Number two, ये जो चीज़ें होती है ना, limited resources, limited cash, ये excuses हैं. मुझे लगता है कि if you are a founder, you really need to change and make crisis an opportunity. इसके बावजूद
dwell a little deeper into this. Give an example. How did you convert a crisis into an opportunity?
Despite of limited resources, there are multiple ways you can figure out a creative solution to bring an amazing person into your company.
Did you do something like that?
So a lot of the times, and I think अगर हम एक tactical solutions में जाना है, it could be very less fixed but very high variable, because if the company does well, आपको बहुत ज़्यादा
so skin in the game with the growth of the company.
So that could be one thing. Second, it could be equity, and everyone knows now कि wealth creation happens
only through equity.
That is number two. Number three, you tell them the 5 years down the line, if they stay in the company they are currently, तब आपका कैश फ्लो कैसे दिखेगा. अभी आप एक साल मत देखिए, हैव दैट लॉन्ग टर्म विजन. और जब आप लॉन्ग टर्म विजन में फाइनेंशियली, पर्सनल लर्निंग, प्रोफेशनल लर्निंग, सब चीज़ें देखेंगे, द ROI विल बी मच बेटर इफ यू जॉइन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. सो दिस आर सम ऑफ द टैक्टिकल थिंग्स that you can do, but the most important thing is to sell the future, the mission, all of that.
And a founder has to be a salesperson throughout,
every single day. Every single day, yeah. So the most important thing I truly believe is you cannot compromise, and you should not compromise on the quality of the talent. And a lot of time people are like, ये थोड़ा महंगा है. The opportunity cost of not hiring the best talent is so much
more.
Yeah, exactly.
Beautiful, because you're talking about time value of money, and a lot of people don't understand the time value of money. मुझे इसलिए और हंसी आ रही है because amongst my co-founders, the fourth co-founder who became a co-founder and joined us about 3.5, 4 years later. तो मुझे 3.5-4 साल लगा to sell and seduce him to come and join us a part and build the journey. So I understand the value of selling, right? Because हमें हर दिन बेचना होता है. Whether it's the vision, whether it's the mission, whether it's what we are trying to build, whether it's what we are trying to achieve. One of the most important thing, guys, that you have to understand, and what Ahana is outlining very clearly, as founders, as entrepreneurs, every day you have to sell. Every day you have to pitch. Every day you have to close. The sales, the pitching and the closing, that all of that together builds and perhaps synopsizes a founder's life. I think that's one of the most important aspects.
And the other thing which I would add, it's very easy to sell. I won't say easy, let me take it back. It's more convenient when you're on a high, when you're winning. Imagine you have heard 10 rejections in a day.
Yeah.
You're feeling the lowest of the lows. And then you have to go and sell again. That this is the best. This is going to be the winner. And I think that is the kind of self-belief and conviction you need to have. It's not just about selling. It's about believing that you are the best when everyone in the world has rejected you and still having that confidence.